Back. Back on a walk with little man. And let me tell you, it feels really good outside today. I'm actually wearing a t-shirt. Still got pants on. Honestly, I probably could have wore shorts, but it's technically still winter, so gotta kind of act like it. And there's boy, getting his exercise in. And here's the creek. I'm sure I've shown you all the creek a few other times. Actually, just a few days ago, I was out here, and look how much it's risen. And you could ride a kayak down this. Yeah, it's all snow melt, and we probably had at least an inch of rain, if not more, last night and all through yesterday. And I got woken up a few times where the rain was so heavy it was like in the side of the house. Get over here. That broken glass. Yeah. Look at those currents. Phew. That's beautiful. Just sit here. I might come back here later on and read a book. Picked up a few new books to read, and one of them is very interesting. Talks about shamanism and how it's not a religion, it's a methodology. And it made a lot of sense once he broke it down like that. And that book is, I was 10 years old when it was written. Well, technically I was 1 year old when it was written. And he revised it in 1993 when I was 11 years old, I guess. And I'm just now reading it. So better late than never. As you can see, pretty natural cloud cover. Yeah, I just love this natural clouds. What are you looking at, boy? What's everybody up to? How's the weather where everybody's at? I hear it's real bad out on the West Coast. Got a buddy that lives out in Lake Tahoe, and he's been shoveling a lot lately. And I feel real bad about the people caught up in that avalanche. Those hikers. It's real sad, especially for their families. I mean, the people at that level and expertise, they kind of know the risk going in, and they accept it. But their family members don't necessarily accept it. They have to just live with the tragedy if and when it happens. But a lot of those guys, those mountain guys and stuff like that, mountain girls, they're highly trained, and they live for stuff like that. And sometimes the worst happens, and it's sad. It's always a tragedy, but the good thing is there were people there to help the ones that did survive. Get over here. Yeah, boy's hustling along today. He's got me pulling. I still got some snow. You can see all the water. You just want to peek at everything, don't you? Oh, Mikey, I heard about that. Y'all going to be getting a lot of winter weather. You've had a lot of winter weather this year, more so than Where I'm at on the western side of the state, up in the mountains, we mainly just had that one big snow, and that was about it. And it seems like y'all out on the eastern part of the state just seem to be always getting hit. And it's always those little clipper systems or those little offshore systems that come up. But yeah, the weather here today is 65 degrees and nice and sunny. It started out real nasty. All that weather's heading your way, Mikey. I'm actually from the eastern side of the state. I was born in Newport News back in the early 80s. And I lived in the Northern Neck for a long time. A lot of my family's from that area. But I enjoy the mountains. It's too flat out there. And the Northern Neck area where I was originally from, every time I go back, there's just less and less people I know. And the prices of the houses have just gone through the roof. So a lot of the people that used to live there can't afford it no more. Look, here's Boy's little water hole that he usually drinks at. And it'll be interesting to see if he actually gets down in there and drinks. Good boy. I knew he was going to do it. There you go. Get you some water. There's the bridge. That water's loud. But yeah, this here is a swimming hole. And don't look like there's going to be much swimming going on here. Kayaking. I have a buddy that makes wooden boats. Not like the big ones, but the smaller ones. That you can maneuver with two paddles. And he takes them down little creeks and streams and stuff when they rise like this. And it's so funny looking because he's like this big bearded Scottish guy riding around in a little wooden boat. Hi. Come on, buddy. You want to say hello? He's kind of like that too. Y'all have a good one. Look at that. Boy, you can't behave worth nothing. Must have been a boy dog. He does pretty good around girl dogs. But when he gets around other boy dogs, the testosterone starts kicking. He thinks he's a 90-pound pit bull. I always joke around with him. I always say that his granddaddy was a 90-pound junkyard dog. He always looks up at me. But he was a little runt of the litter. And how I got him was very different. He just showed up. He just showed up one day. Now, a buddy of mine, apparently the neighborhood that he lived in, the little man here was a little vagrant, and he was running the neighborhood for multiple months. And he finally showed up at my buddy's house. They were having a cookout, cooking chicken, and I guess he smelled the chicken and came over, and he had a hurt leg because he had a chain he was dragging, like what thing that I have here. It was made out of chain, and I guess it wrapped around his leg. But yeah, he was all frail and skittish, and I could tell he had been abused because the way that he would act around men specifically. But within the 30 seconds of seeing him and being around me, he knew. and the guard dropped down, and he's been my best friend ever since. And I've healed him up, gotten him thick, fat, and happy. So, Anna, why do you feel bad for me? Don't cry for me, Argentina. Anna, I'm actually doing really well. I hope you are too. But I was talking about the story of my dog and how he was all frail, injured in the runt. And then he came to me, and I've healed him up and brought out his inner light. I've had him now, I think next May, or this coming May, it'll be 4 years. And I believe that when I got him, he was about a year old. So, but yeah, don't feel bad for me. Don't feel bad for little man. Just remember, your perception of me is a reflection of you. So be thoughtful. Not everybody can be out here on a Friday at 2 p.m. walking their dog. Most people are stuck in the matrix. And that's all right. I did it for almost 40 years. But I broke free. I've eaten crow for many years to break free, but that's part of the process. I'm gonna pin your comment that you feel bad for me. I'd say it's probably like 65 degrees out here. Feels like summertime. Especially considering the winter we've had. The birds have shown back up. I've noticed the strawberry finches and goldfinches have flocked back into town. And the robins. They mainly come out in the mornings and in the evenings. But they're already fat. And they're already fighting for territory. So I'm thinking it's the earliest I've ever seen most of these birds show up. Plus the bluebirds are back in town. Most of the time the bluebirds don't show up until end of March, early April. Oh, we got this guy here. He's like this old guy that has this Mustang. And I guess it's a manual because he doesn't necessarily know how to drive it. We'll wait and watch. Look at him. Sounds like a refrigerator. And if you look up above me here, this is one of the first signs of spring. Trees are already budding. So, pretty wild. Groundhog was wrong. The groundhog might have been right for up where that groundhog lives. But they need to have a groundhog in like every area. And then whatever happens that day with that specific groundhog entails the weather conditions for the next 6 weeks for that specific area. I'm going to hop off here. I feel bad for you too, Anna. Have a good day, y'all.